everyone, and welcome to a special Box Bitz episode of the Annie Chat Box. Today we are doing this episode as a free, gift to all of our listeners in light of the recent events that happened at KyoAni Studio 1. The arson and fire that happened just the other day. Everyone here, I think everyone in the anime community in general, I think is at least aware or has been touched by Kyoto Animation in some way. Their shows have been around for a really, really long time and have basically paved the way for the anime industry. So I think with everyone here decided to come together just, on our free time and just have a small session to talk about Kyoto Animation, what they've done for us, shows that we like, just talk about it and, celebrate them, because for fans of that studio, I think this is something that we're going to have to all get through together, and just be positive and, yeah, just try and get through this devastating, tragic incident that happened. So this is, I guess, the Annie Chat Box's small way of trying to do that.
Yeah, very well said.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. I guess I'll start off. I didn't watch a whole lot of anime much before I moved to like high school, like my sophomore year of high school. That's when I started like slowly getting more and more into anime. The first thing I'd watched from Kyoto Animation was actually Haruhi, but
Same.
I didn't finish it. I think I watched like 8 episodes, and this was in like middle school. I remember. I think I skipped school and then I just sat around and I watched Haruhi. But I watched like 8 episodes on like YouTube or something, and then like never finished it. And then I think I tried again with Lucky Star, and like.
How far did you get?
I don't even remember. But in high school, I found Clannad on Crunchyroll, actually. Back when Crunchyroll was pirate Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And I like marathoned it, but I didn't have anyone to talk about it with, because this was like 2007, 2008. Nobody wanted to talk about sad shows about high school.
What do they want to talk about, Dom?
I don't remember. Code Geass.
Yeah, Bleach, Code Geass, Naruto.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So I had no one to talk about it with, and I was really sad because I was like, "Oh, this show's really good." But it's totally like different from what most people are watching, nowadays, and I was really sad. But yeah, I think I watched that like a bit after it aired, and then After Story came out, and I like was following that show like weekly, like religiously, like after every day that a new After Story episode came out, it was like, oh, it's time for After Story. This is the highlight of my week. Yeah, and that was my favorite anime for like a really, really long time. Then Precure, then Precure came along and ruined all that. but yeah, and then I got into After Story. The next show they did, like the season after, was KyoAni. I remember watching the PV for that and being like, oh, it's a new show by the same studio that did my favorite fucking anime. I'm gonna watch this, and the main girl is cute. And yeah, KyoAni was pretty good. I watched that religiously too. I got super into that. And then I think they did Chunibyo after that.
They did do Chunibyo later down the line.
It was Chunibyo. I think Chunibyo was like the next thing from them that they did, and I think that's when I fell off because I didn't like Twin Tails Girl at all.
Actually.
Yeah, and
there's a theme here where Cammy really loves a twin-tailed child, either because they're their favorite or she just likes them, and then Dominic's like, no.
And then I come here and I'm like, no.
Oh well, I mean, the thing is, like, that's fine. You were saying that about Dekomori and not Rika, because so
oh
I'm
yeah,
fine.
it's okay. Dekomori. Yeah,
Rika's best girl. So
yeah, it was. I was fine until like I was enjoying the show. And then Dekomori came in, and I was like, oh, every time this character is on screen, I'm not happy.
I see.
She's not the main focus of the whole show, though. So.
She's not, but I was annoyed, like, every time. I remember that. But, yeah, and after that, I, like, didn't watch anything at all by them. I kind of drifted away from KyoAni. And then I met Cassie, and she showed me a silent voice. And I was like, oh. This movie's pretty damn good.
And it was.
And it was. But yeah, that's my own personal journey with Kyoto Animation. They are largely responsible for. Oh, I also watched Full Metal Panic and Nichijou. Right, I forgot about Nichijou.
Yeah, Nichijou and Hyoka premiered before Love Chunibyo, at least on...
Oh, yeah. Okay, what happened is I watched an episode of Hyoka, and that was not my kind of show at all. I really love Nichijou. Nichijou was good. I like Nichijou a lot. I never finished
Nichijou. It was good, but I never finished it.
I really hope you'll host choice it sometime.
It's a really unique choice, a unique sense of humor. I don't expect everyone to enjoy Nichijou.
Oh no, I liked it. I just fell off. Like I do a lot of comedies. I'll watch it and be like, "Oh, this is so good," and then not finish it.
Yeah, same here actually.
Yeah, I just know there are a lot of people who are like, "Oh, who don't quite gel with the humor of Nichijou," which is understandable. It's kind of oddball, but yeah, I like that show a lot. That was the last KyoAni show I watched that I like really gelled with. And then I think Chunibyo happened, and then I kind of dropped off. But yeah, so they were actually pretty instrumental to my anime journey, at least in terms of like getting into the medium. Like, because Clannad was like one of those shows that like really spearheaded me like going out. That and along with like Gurren Lagann was like the two shows that really spearheaded me going out and like exploring different types of anime.
Nice.
So yeah, I owe KyoAni a lot when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in, say some stuff?
I also was first introduced to KyoAni with Haruhi Suzumiya when I was buying anime DVDs from the FYE, because that was the only way I could legally watch anime back in the day, and I didn't know about Pirate Crunchyroll. So I spent money to watch anime in high school for the most part. Until much later down the line when somebody was like, you don't have to spend money. And I was like, what? Isn't that illegal? And she's like, shh, follow me to my room.
Oh, God.
But that's another story for another day. But me and that same friend ended up watching some of Haruhi. And I was just so in love with Haruhi back then because it was just an anime that looked so good. And I think back then, even though I didn't even understand that anime came from different companies when I was younger. I thought it was just one big company spewing out cartoons, or that were like the top 3 or something, like how we've got Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney Channel, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I kind of thought anime was a thing. But when I got into Clannad much later on, and it also became my favorite anime for a very long time, I realized that, wow, no, this is a really special studio and I want to watch more of their works. And I have watched almost everything they've done. Even stuff that didn't gel with me as much as I had hoped it would, like Beyond the Boundary, which on a second watch I actually liked Beyond the Boundary a lot, but the first time it didn't gel with me very well. And I definitely never was able to gel with K-On! Mm-hmm. A lot of their other works really help define who I am as an anime fan, but also help define who I am. Like, when I met Cammy and got to talk to her about Chunibyo, and we also got to talk about some other animes, and God knows we kept going back and forth when Maid Dragon was released a few years ago, and that was one of the first reviews I think we did within the first year or so.
Yes.
And so there's just all these special memories that revolve around KyoAni, and I could talk about all of the animes I loved from them, but I think that I would probably be talking for a really long time, and I don't want to. I'm emotionally compromised, but yeah, KyoAni not only defined who I am as an anime fan in a lot of ways, but also brought people closer to me that who knows if we would have had all that much in common otherwise. So it's just really special, the work that they put out, because it touched so many people, which also spurred on a lot of conversation about their anime as well, and brought other groups of people together. And I think that's great.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned memories that were associated through KyoAni, because I also think that I've had a lot of experiences as an anime fan directly contributed by KyoAni's work. Again, being able to talk about Chunibyo and Tamako Market, and even indirectly Hyoka. While I hadn't watched that show for years, there was a time that Cassie and I and one of our other friends all kind of just had this little like association as being like the three lead girls from that show, where I related to Rika, and I think Cassie is like the personification of Tamako from Tamako Market in a lot of ways. And our friend really loves Chitanda Eru from Hyoka. And so that was kind of a friendship binding thing. And then I made this video for Cassie that I won't go on and off on, but I used that connection, and I edited with those three shows as kind of a way to display the symbol of our friendship. My first couple cosplay ever with my boyfriend was Rika and Yuta from Chunibyo. And there's like this picture that someone took of us candidly in our cosplay, and it's like one of my favorite pictures of us of all time.
It is so cute. I love that picture.
Cute.
Yeah, it makes me really happy. I even remember there was someone just there at Otakon. I don't think they spoke English because they came up to me and spoke Japanese, but they were like, Chunibyo ka? Can I, they did the word for photograph, which I can't remember. And I was like, someone took a picture of me in my Rika cosplay. Ah! And I like freaked out. And then like, there are friends that I really connect to with like Free, that we bond over that. Air for me was the first show of theirs that I watched, and it was really like the first anime to like really make me cry. You know, you find those really sad animes. That was Air was mine. And then I also watched Canon 2006 and saw a bit of Clannad. And back then with those three, I all thought that they were key shows. I didn't realize that they were KyoAni shows. Because they're around the key visual novels, but they were all animated by KyoAni. I think the first time that I really paid attention and said, oh, this is KyoAni, was when I saw Chunibyo, because I loved Chunibyo and it really grabbed my attention. And then I think after that I watched like Tamako Market and, got a sense of their style and everything that they make. And usually any time that I've seen a KyoAni show coming out on a seasonal thing, since we started watching seasonally, it will perk up my interest. And, for the time that we've been doing this podcast, their shows have always delivered. In our past 2 year-round wrap-ups, I've always had a KyoAni show in my top list at the end of the year.
Nice.
I also first encountered KyoAni through Air. Like, it wasn't my first key series. That was the original version of Canon, but probably thanks to that I ended up paying attention to Air, and then the remake of Canon, and then Clannad, like the key three, as you were. And yeah, Haruhi Suzumiya, fondly remember watching all of these as they were coming out, and eventually I did go back and watch Fullmetal Panic, and like, yeah, with this news, I end up going like straight to the My Anime List page for KyoAni, and just looked up everything they've done, and realized I have watched most of these that have come on here.
Yeah.
And they're all ones that I remember enjoying fondly. There's a number that I haven't seen, especially the stuff that came out before. I guess before Full Metal Panic or Air at this point. Which one? Yeah, Air came before Full Metal Panic. Nothing Mothra came before. Yeah, never mind. And the series I haven't seen, I'm like, I should watch these because it seems like I really do gel with KyoAni. So many of their series have brought me to tears, and that's one way that I say if a series is good. Did it make me cry? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way I tend to find I enjoy series if they make me cry. So, but yeah,
KyoAni. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, even outside of just like watching the series, I do have other fond memories relating to these various different series. Like a running into college one day after watching a few episodes of Air, and quite amusingly, going up to one of my friends that I knew watched anime, telling him that he needs to check out Air before choking on my own breath.
Did he watch it?
I actually don't know if he did in the end, but he found it very amusing that I told him very vaguely, not even mentioning it was an anime, just like, you need to hear about Air. Because I just suddenly choked on my own breath for absolutely no reason. But yeah, I did eventually convince him it was an anime series I was really enjoying and he should watch it. But yeah, and then Junibyo, I've have fond memories with other members of the chat box here, involving that, and just, yeah.
I believe this was before Dominic was a part of the podcast, but the year that Kobayashi was out, I think all of us had it in our top list
We
at
did.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
We did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, which was pretty great, and that's a mark again to how I think appealing a lot of their works can be to such a wide audience of people with different tastes. And if a certain show doesn't work, it feels like they've covered enough expanse of different genres, of different like settings and things, especially in the past maybe like 3 years, like getting beyond the boundary as a much more like action and intense oriented show as compared to like Cute Girls Doing Cute Things, which they are excellent at. And then you have like slice of life comedies. They just really, honestly, even as years go by too, they keep improving, tackling new things, and setting new standards for anime as a whole, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you bring that up because I was at work actually yesterday, and you know this news like hit national news.
Yep.
And
New York Times.
one of my coworkers, like right behind me, brought it up to another coworker because one of the coworkers I sit by, he watches anime, and they were like, "Oh, did you hear about the fire of that happened with that anime studio?" And they hadn't heard about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't know much about anime, but I guess they make anime about high school girls or something."
Mm.
You know, which I guess is like the general like opinion, like perception of KyoAni like shows, but it does go quite a bit deeper than that, which is nice.
Yeah. I feel like they're experts in that genre, but that's not all there is to them.
Yeah.
Nah, they step outside the box. I mean, Violet Evergarden and all the characters are definitely post high school. So
Yes, and that's like
it's
it's like a steampunk setting, kind of. That's so cool.
It's
yeah.
yeah, something like that.
But it's definitely set in older times, which
Yeah.
is neat. And it's, from what I've watched of it so far, it's beautifully animated. And I plan to go back and watch Violet Evergarden, I guess, in KyoAni's honor, because it's one of the shows by them that I just looked at. And, I mean, even shows that I wasn't even really enjoying before in the past, I've been able to just, get away from. But I think that I should give Violet Evergarden another shot, is what I'm trying to get at.
It is one of their like few like original shows too.
Yeah.
Like, purely made by them.
Let's see. I think I was just reading on the wiki, and the wiki says it was based on a novel from their what is it called? The Kyoto Animation Award, which is something that they've been doing since 2009. And winning submissions have a chance to be adapted into anime by them. And apparently that's how we got Love Chunibyo, Free, Beyond the Boundary, and Phantom World. And then in 2014, Violet Evergarden became the first work and so far the only one to win grand prize in 3 categories.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's based on a novel, but it was found through their a specific like contest they do, which is also a really cool way to find like new promising works.
New talent, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of those ones that I dropped after a couple of episodes, even though normally I would just keep trucking anyway because it's a studio I like. But I dropped off it, and I think it deserves a second chance. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I mean, also all of the those KyoAni novel awards, all of those, except for maybe Chunibyo, I don't remember that one getting a PV, though it might have and I just missed it. But all of them got like a PV to advertise the novel,
Right.
At some point.
Yeah, like all things considered, with the novel it was based on, I remember back when the PV for Free dropped, and everybody was just freaking out and calling it the Swimming Boys anime. And then there was this massive shock in like the anime fandom when we found out it was going to get an actual anime, and everyone was saying things like, "Oh man, our outcry made them actually make a Swimming Boys anime," and it's like, no, it was going to come eventually.
This is what they do.
Yeah, but what a treat! What a good old treat.
Another Kyokai no character PV ended up looking very different to the actual series, though.
I mean, so did Free.
Yeah.
They were much slimmer in the PV thing.
That's true, yeah.
I was just mentioning it. Just to mention it.
I'm trying to think about it. I know that Hibike Euphonium has a novel, but I can't recall if Hibike is based on a novel or if the novels came afterwards. But it does seem like a lot of the time that is kind of what they'll do, is they will base things off of light novels. And out of all of the light novels that are like being adapted like today seasonally, it's so saturated with like samey stuff. But I think that a lot of the light novels that KyoAni chooses to adapt, again, are just very diverse and very unique, and I'm really happy about that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the same isekai novel over and over and over again.
Thank God.
Right?
That seems...
Can you imagine
technically
being...
they did the Inuyasha movies. I was about to say, they haven't done any isekai, but technically they did Inuyasha, so...
Nice.
Can you imagine becoming isekai'd into, like, Haruhi Suzumiya's classroom?
No.
It's like,
Awful.
no.
No.
I would kill myself and hope I get isekai'd somewhere else.
I can't remember if they mentioned that, but maybe that's technically what happened to, like, the supporting cast, like the Esper and the alien and stuff, because they were just like, it's that whole thing of she wills it, she wants strange beings, and now we're here. Oh, crap. Maybe they were isekai just based on the god will of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Haruhi Suzumiya isekaiing another person near you.
Oh, God. I'm just saying Kyon should have punched her in the second season, but he didn't. Anyway.
We can rant about Haruhi another way. If anything...
Exactly.
If anything, all KyoAni shows I've watched for the most part, even the ones that I hated, but I watched all the way through, I committed. I hated Haruhi, and I stayed hating her, but I appreciated what they tried to do.
Exactly. Has
Also,
anyone
the
actually
movie's amazing. The disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Try watching that with no context of season 2.
Yeah, you should not watch that movie without watching.
And yet you and I did.
I watched Haruhi Suzumiya. I watched all of it.
No, yeah, I watched it with you. You showed it to me, and I'm like, yep, this is the movie.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that because I still haven't finished that movie.
You really should watch season 2, unfortunately.
Okay, I think with season 2, I dropped off like maybe 2/3 of the way through after the Endless Eight, and then the like start of the little movie arc. So
yeah,
I should go and finish it.
I didn't actually get through Endless Eight of the second season, but I have read the novels of it, including the Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. So I really need to watch the movie. I just haven't.
Yeah, I always forget too that KyoAni made Full Metal, like some Full Metal Panic. It started with Fumofu.
Yeah, Fumofu and Second Raid were when they took over. Full Metal Panic kept on jumping studios.
Right, because I think it was it Gonzo first? I think. Yeah.
So?
It was Gonzo, yeah. Gonzo did the first... I don't know who did the fourth season, but Gonzo did the first season, KyoAni did Fumofu and Second Raid. And it's very, very noticeable.
Yeah.
The jump
models.
The jump from Gonzo to KyoAni, it's like night and day.
In which KyoAni is the light.
Yeah. KyoAni is way better.
It actually has the budget, they say.
Like you kind of sit through the first season of Full Metal Panic so you can get to the KyoAni seasons.
I still enjoy the first season of Full Metal Panic, but Second Raid is definitely the best of it.
Something I was thinking about recently, I think because I was talking about the news of the tragedy to like my family and friends, and my mom just was like, "Oh, that's really sad," and then I told her the only thing that she's seen from KyoAni is I watched A Silent Voice with her, and so I wanted to just like connect her to that, and I wanted to let her know that it was these people that made it. And on that note, I do think that for a lot of people, A Silent Voice is a really powerful film that you can share with people that aren't even necessarily regular anime watchers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been the case. I think it's a very good idea to do so. And especially another way, if you want to pay tribute to the studio and want to show someone that movie, it is on Netflix now and accessible.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's been there since June.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's another way, I guess, to appreciate what they've done and all of the good things about them. Did you guys hear that the Sentai fundraiser raised $1 million?
Yep,
Did it?
I looked that up.
I think
actually,
I think it was $3 million.
Is it
wasn't
3 now? Oh shoot!
I think it was something like that.
Let me
I'll
check.
go
I think
look
I
it
heard
up.
something.
Yeah,
Maybe that was something else. I have no idea.
but also just considering in the span of time since this has happened, that has already been the response. I think speaks volumes.
I don't think I've talked about my history with the studio.
Oh, please do.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
it was 1.5. It was 1.5 million.
Right now
Oh,
they're at
sorry.
$1,631,403.
Hashtag, was it Sentai's doing a hashtag for like
Hashtag help KyoAni heal.
that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks volumes when it hits the New York Times and it actually says like an editor or a writer actually like came up with like the quintessential Kyoto Animation shows. That aside, my history with the studio is kind of like I would probably say it's kind of even spottier, the most spotty out of all of everyone here. I don't really... the only shows of Kyoto Animations that I've watched is Haruhi Suzumiya and the rightful year 2007. Browsing GameSpot forums, and then everyone's saying, hey, you should watch this. I'm like, oh, what is this? It's got bunny girls, and it's got a wizard, and then Mikuru Beam. I don't know what that is.
That's why I watched it in middle school. I was like, oh, look at all this shit.
Yeah, that's exactly why I watched it. And then they had a music number, and I'm like, God knows, that's fucking cool. I want to get in on that. And past that, I was like, okay, Cardinal Sin, never watched any of the Key Triple Threat of Sadness. Dom says that I probably would not like them. I do not know one way or the other. Despite it, Clannad and Air being like all y'all's favorite animes. Cass has sat me down to watch some of Hyoka, some of Love, Junie Biu and Other Delusions, some of Beyond the Boundary.
Some of Hibike Euphonium.
Yeah, but
I'm sensing a trend with me and you and KyoAni, Craig.
They have really fucking good animation because, Free Season 1 and Season 2 are tight. I didn't watch Season 3 of that. But you know what? One, fucking thing out of Kyoto Animation stuck for me is Silent Voice. Naoko Yamada. She also directed Atomical Market. I watched that too. And, she is, it's been confirmed that she was not involved in the attack. She was not harmed, thankfully. So that's a good thing. And I hear Liz and the Bluebird is the bee's knees.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Liz and the Bluebird is a gorgeous fucking film.
Yes.
I forgot
Honey,
to mention
don't
my
do
history.
Do it.
I was talking about Liz and the Bluebird earlier today, and Dominic started pretend snoring in the background.
I can't.
I actually don't have any ill will towards that movie. It's just I think. Did we watch it with Zach?
Yeah.
We were watching it with
did.
Zach, and you fell asleep.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened is we were in a dark lit room. We were watching this movie. We were on the bed. I think I was half laying down. This movie is really fucking quiet. Nobody talks.
A lot of method directing and silence character.
Yeah, and then I fell asleep. So I honestly don't have any strong opinion one way or the other about the film. I just really quiet, fell asleep.
It's amazing. That film is amazing.
Yes.
So the pattern about Kyoto Animation is, that shit is tight, and they got budgets. Oh wait, no, I watched Dragon Maid. I watched all the way through. That's delightful.
Yeah, you really like Dragon Maid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just always have fun polishing their animation just more and more each time. Each time a new show comes out, they've advanced in some way to make stuff look even better than their last project, and that's something they've been consistently doing for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really impressive.
Yeah, I still remember when Free first started airing, or even it might have just been the PV, and everyone gushing about how good the water looked.
Oh yeah,
and the PV aside, the PV was done to show, look, we can animate water really well. But the fact that they kept that up with the TV series kind of blew everyone away. And yeah, they continue to step up the game with each new series they come out with, and even Maid Dragon, though the art style doesn't look like it really calls for a higher budget, there are scenes in it where they're like, you know what, we're gonna pull out all the stops and just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And just draw-dropping animation and all the sakuga. I had a blank on the word for a moment then.
I feel like the two studios that I can really associate the phrase unexpectedly delightful with are Studio Ghibli and Kyoto Animation.
Mm.
I've just had so many shows that I've watched and then had that reaction to. that it's just like, wow, I got a lot more out of this than I expected, or if I had those high expectations, it hit on those cylinders. And now it's a problem, because whenever I go and watch a KyoAni series that I haven't seen, or rewatch one, for example, with like Tamako Market, I'll catch myself thinking, oh, okay, so this kind of, I didn't think so before, but it's going into my upper echelon of like KyoAni shows. It's the higher tier. But the thing is, that's been happening for almost every show. And I'm like, they might just have their own like tier for me, with like mad respect for a whole lot of their works. Certainly a lot more hits than misses for me when I watch their works.
Another thing that's really important to me, just as a fellow female, is that KyoAni is known for hiring young women.
Yeah, yes. That's what Don was telling me.
Yeah,
their studios are primarily female.
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
Yeah, then they're hiring young females, so they're giving, because most animators, percentage-wise, are older males.
Yep.
Being a young person and getting into the animation industry is hard. Being somebody who's a woman and wanting to get into animation, it's a tough route, and KyoAni has been offering a lot of like spirited and talented women to join their ranks when other people might not, and I think that that's just really, really cool.
Yeah, the fact that their most acclaimed director is also a woman. I mean, just speaks to that, which is really, really awesome. And
she's really young, too. Again,
is she?
Oh. I believe, I can't recall her exact age, but yeah, as Cass said, the anime in Japan is kind of like, unfortunately, a lot of the times a boys' club. So it's cool to see females get in the spotlight, especially in like a consistent growing powerhouse such as Kyoto Animation in terms of staff and quality and IPs that they are grabbing.
Yeah. I can't speak too much on it from source, but I've also always heard that they've been reputed as a studio that very much respects their workers and tries to create a supportive work environment where people can feel like family, and it's, you know, they're not crazy overworked, and they're mentored going in as well. A lot of the new artists go through their education program that they have.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, to kind of keep some of the technique going. And I think that any sort of industry having a focus on mentoring is really, really valuable. So good on them for that. I'm gonna just investigate this real quick.
What else can we say?
Honestly, we probably just keep gushing.
But if we gush, we'll gush all night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There has been, to my knowledge, no details about where specifically donation funds will go to, but I really do hope that a good portion of it goes to the families to be able to have funerals or hospital costs covered.
Yeah, the issue there. This is one reason why people were saying to be careful about donating. Is the thing with donations in Japan is that if you're a for-profit company, which Kyoto Animation is, you cannot just take donations. It has to go through a bunch of like legal BS, and that's why I believe KyoAni like released like a statement saying that they're not currently taking donations or anything like that because there is that legal barrier. Obviously, I think Sentai Works does all their stuff anyways, so I think they have like a way to get to like work through that. So I imagine all that money will get to them eventually, but that's why people were recommending people just buy the pictures off their little shop, because that would be like an automatic, just like, hey, your money's going to get to them with like literally no trouble to them.
Let's link that in our description if we can, so people can go to their store.
And also, like, probably link, like, tweets that... Because the store's in Japanese, so link, like, tweets that...
Yeah, tweets that show how to do it. I found a couple of those, so...
Yeah.
We'll find one and we'll put it in the description for those of you who might be listening and wanting to know a definite direct source that you can donate to. Well, not donate to, but buy and have money go to them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that we will also make the effort to keep that updated if there is like another form of donation or a way that comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I do just want to say, I mean, amongst us, to everybody else that is just dealing with this tragedy, just know that you definitely aren't alone. This is something that impacts everybody there. It impacts the community nationally and internationally. And I'm pretty blown away by all of the support that I've seen of people thus far in dealing with this. And a lot of love really gets reflected in the aftermath of tragedy.
Yeah.
So it's a thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's been, like, obviously it's a terrible tragedy, but to see the amount of, like, warmth that has come from the anime community towards this, you know, disaster that happened is at least a one thing that kind of, you know, can help, you know, deal with the emotional pain that something like this brings. You know, it's nice that everybody is coming together in that sort of way.
Yeah. I think that also just goes to show just how beloved the studio this is, that there has been such a positive response from this.
Thank you, KyoAni, for everything that you've done, and may you heal and hopefully continue to do. Yeah. We love ya.
Produce shiny shit. People eat it up.
Yeah.
I can't see what they do next. And take all the time to heal before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your time to heal. We can all wait, and we wait with love and support for whatever happens next.